If you tell someone you want to retire at 55, you'll usually hear one of two things. Either, wouldn't you need like $5 million to do that? Or, honestly, $1 million is probably fine if you're careful. And here's the annoying truth. Both of those people could be right. Because retiring at 55 isn't really a pick a magic number problem. It's a can your plan hold up for a long time problem? At 55, your money has to do a few jobs people don't think about. It has to pay you for a long time, potentially 35 or even 40 years. It has to cover the years before Medicare at 65. And it has to cover the years before Social Security if you're not claiming it right away. So today we're doing a reality check on retiring at 55. How much people really need, what they forget, and the mistakes that can quietly blow up the plan. Quick note before we start. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor, a CPA, or an attorney, and this isn't financial, tax, or legal advice. Your situation is personal, and rules can change. All right, here's the big idea for this whole video. Your retirement number isn't a number. It's a paycheck plan. So instead of starting with, how much do I need? Let's start with the thing that actually controls the answer. What does your life cost? And I don't mean the perfect budget version of your life. I mean real life, where stuff breaks and random expenses show up at the worst time. Step one is getting your real retirement spending number. A lot of people mess this up in early retirement because they do one of two things. They use their current spending, but forget work costs might disappear, like commuting, lunches out, or work clothes. Or they use their dream retirement spending, but forget the boring stuff gets more expensive, like insurance and healthcare, and home repairs don't stop just because you're retired. So here's an easy way to build a spending number that's actually useful. Break it into 3 buckets. First bucket, the non-negotiables. Housing, utilities, groceries, basic transportation, insurance, minimum debt payments. Second bucket, lifestyle. Travel, restaurants, hobbies, gym, gifts, all the fun stuff. Third bucket, the big hits. Cars, roofs, AC, appliances, major dental work, home projects, stuff that doesn't show up monthly but absolutely shows up eventually. If you only budget the first 2, retirement feels great. Until you get punched in the face by the third bucket. Now you've got spending. And next, we turn spending into a rough portfolio target. This is where people bring up the 4% rule. Here's the plain English version. You take a percentage out of your portfolio each year to live on, and you want it to last. The reason retiring at 55 is different is the timeline. You're probably not planning for 20 years. You might be planning for 35 or 40. So a lot of people choose to be a little more conservative with their starting withdrawal rate when they retire early, especially if they want more margin. Here's the simple shortcut math. If you use 4%, your target is about 25 times your yearly spending. If you use something more conservative, like 3.5%, your target is closer to about 28 to 30 times your yearly spending. So let's put numbers on it. If you want to spend about $60,000 a year, 25 times is $1.5 million, and 30 times is $1.8 million. If you want to spend $80,000 a year, 25 times is $2 million, and 30 times is $2.4 million. If you want to spend $100,000 a year, 25 times is $2.5 million, and 30 times is $3 million. Same age, same retirement date, different target, just based on how cautious you want to be and how long you need it to work. But here's the part that trips people up. Those quick multipliers only make sense if your spending number already includes the 2 biggest gotchas at 55, taxes and healthcare. So let's talk about the 2 biggest reality checks for retiring at 55. First reality check, healthcare. You've got a 10-year gap before Medicare. 10 years is not a detail. 10 years is a whole phase of life. And the cost isn't just the monthly premium. It's deductibles, out-of-pocket costs, prescriptions, and the fact that one bad medical year can be way more expensive than your average year. Also, if you're using Affordable Care Act marketplace coverage, your income can affect what you pay. So the way you pull money from your accounts can change the math. The mistake isn't healthcare costs money. Everyone knows that. The mistake is not pricing the 55 to 65 bridge for your actual situation and just kind of hoping it works out. Second reality check. Access to your money. At 55, a lot of people are retirement account rich, but real life cash poor. Meaning the money exists, but it's sitting in accounts with rules. So one of the smartest things you can do is map your money by when you can touch it. Taxable brokerage money is usually accessible anytime. Roth IRA contributions can often be pulled out, but earnings have rules. Traditional retirement accounts usually have penalties before 59.5 unless an exception applies, and at 55 specifically, there's something people talk about called the Rule of 55. In certain situations, if you leave your job in or after the year you turn 55, you may be able to take penalty-free withdrawals from that employer's plan. Still taxable, but potentially no early withdrawal penalty. The big mistake is thinking that applies to everything, or thinking it's automatic, or thinking it applies to an IRA the same way it applies to a 401k. So if you want retiring at 55 to actually feel smooth, you want a bridge plan. A plan for how you'll pay for life from 55 to 59.5, and then from 59.5 to 65, and then what changes at 65. Because retiring at 55 isn't one retirement. It's a few stages. Stage 1 is the no Medicare yet years. Stage 2 is when Social Security becomes an option if you want it, but Medicare still isn't there. Stage 3 is 65 and beyond, when Medicare starts and your whole cash flow picture can change. So when someone asks, can I retire at 55 with $1.5 million? The honest answer is maybe. But only if those stages are funded in a way that actually works. Now let's hit some of the most common questions people ask next. Do I need to replace 100% of my income? Usually no, because you're not saving for retirement anymore once you're retired. You might have fewer work costs and you might have less in the way of taxes and deductions compared to working years. But don't assume your spending automatically drops either. Some people spend more at 55 because now they finally have time. So don't target your salary. Target your spending. What about inflation? Inflation matters a lot more when you're retiring early because you've got more years for prices to creep up. It's not usually one big dramatic moment. It's the slow grind of everything costs more year after year. That's why early retirement plans need to think long term, not just, can I make it through the first couple years? Is $1 million enough? Let's do the plain math. If you have $1 million and you use 4% as a rough starting point, that's about $40,000 a year. Before taxes, before healthcare, before the big hit expenses. So if your lifestyle really is around $35,000 to $40,000 a year all in, and you've got healthcare handled and you're flexible, $1 million might work. But if you want $80,000 a year and you're covering a big healthcare bill for 10 years, $1 million is probably not retire at 55 money. It's more like you're close, but you need a better bridge plan money. Okay, now let's talk about the biggest mistakes people make when they aim for 55. Mistake number 1. They build a plan that only works if the market behaves nicely in the first 5 to 10 years. This is what people mean when they say sequence of returns risk. But you don't need the fancy phrase. It just means if the market drops early and you're withdrawing at the same time, it can do more damage than a bad market later. So the fix is not predicting the market. The fix is building shock absorbers. That can be a cash buffer. It can be a flexible spending rule. It can be part-time income for a couple years. Or it can be a plan that says, if the market is down a lot, here's exactly what we cut first. Mistake number 2. They ignore taxes. People say, I need $80,000 a year. Okay, is that what you spend or what you withdraw? Because if most of your money is in pre-tax accounts, What you withdraw is taxable income. So the plan needs a tax haircut built in, and ideally a strategy over time to manage which buckets you pull from and when. Mistake number 3. They forget the big hit expenses. Cars, home repairs, medical surprises, helping family. That one year where everything seems to happen at once. If your plan only works in years where nothing breaks, it's not a plan. It's a wish. Mistake number 4. They plan the retirement date, but they don't plan the retirement paycheck. They know when they want to quit, but they haven't mapped out what account pays what in what order for what time period. At 55, that order matters because of penalties, taxes, healthcare pricing, and timing decisions. Mistake number 5. They treat early retirement like the finish line. It's not. It's a switch. You're switching from saving and building to withdrawing and managing. That's a different game. So if you want a simple way to estimate your retire at 55 number without turning your brain into oatmeal, here's a straightforward framework. Step 1. Decide your real yearly spending number in today's dollars. Step 2. Multiply it by about 30 as a conservative starting point for a long retirement. Step 3. Add a healthcare buffer for 55 to 65, based on real pricing for your situation. Step 4. Account for taxes based on where your money is actually stored. Pre-tax, Roth, or taxable. Step 5. Stress test it. Ask, if the first 5 to 10 years are rough, do I still have a plan? If your plan requires perfect returns, it's not ready yet. Now let's make this feel real with 3 examples. These are just examples, not advice. Example 1. A lean, flexible retirement at 55. Maybe spending is around $50,000 a year. Lifestyle is simple. They can tighten up when needed. Using the times 30 idea, that points to around $1.5 million plus a real healthcare plan for the 55 to 65 gap. Example 2. A comfortable retirement at 55. Spending is around $80,000 a year. Some travel, some fun spending. Still flexible, but wants more cushion. That points to around $2.4 million plus healthcare planning, plus tax planning, plus a plan for the early years if markets drop. Example 3. A higher spend retirement at 55. Spending is around $120,000 a year. More travel, higher housing costs, or more family support. That points to around $3.6 million. And the details matter a lot more at that level because taxes and healthcare and withdrawal strategy can swing the outcome. Now, if those numbers feel like, yeah, okay, I'm never retiring, don't miss this. Most people who pull off retiring at 55 don't do it by only saving harder. They do it by using multiple methods. They get clear on spending. They build a taxable bridge. They plan healthcare instead of guessing. They keep some flexibility in the early years, and they think about taxes before they quit, not after. And sometimes they earn a little money for a few years, not because they have to, but because it makes the plan way safer. So here's the big takeaway. Retiring at 55 isn't about you hitting a magic number. It's about bridging the gap years without one bad stretch breaking your plan. The years before Medicare, the years before Social Security, the years where the market might not be friendly. If you can bridge those years, the rest of the math gets a lot easier. If this helped, please like the video. It really helps support the channel. And if you're really serious about actually retiring early, I wrote a full book that goes way deeper than we can fit in a single video. It's called FIRE Movement. Stop trading time for money and build freedom. A finance guide and workbook to financial independence and retiring early. This book is extensive and practical. It lays out a clear FIRE path with a ton of extra content designed to turn FIRE from an idea into a system you actually follow, so you can actually start. Inside, you'll get worksheets that help you map out your numbers, simple next steps so you're not winging it, and quick quizzes to make sure it all actually sticks. I've also included real-world scripts you can use right away, like how to ask for a raise or talk about money without locking up. Plus, step-by-step tools to pay down debt, trim your budget without feeling miserable, and build a plan you can follow. So if you're ready to move from I get it to I'm doing it, go grab my book. You can scan the QR code on the screen, or follow the link is in the description. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this and share it with someone who could benefit from this information. One last question. If you had to retire at 55, what do you think your real yearly spending number would be? And what's the one expense you think most people forget? Let me know in the comment section. Thanks for your time.